for the business session. Roger.
Thank you, Randall. We appreciate everybody coming out to be with us today. One thing I'd like to, for everybody to express some appreciation to the people that do such a great job. That was a group of employees that walked around here earlier. Let's give them another round of applause. I also want to thank the people at the school for letting us hold the meeting. Thank the ladies who prepared the meal, and thank all of you who provided the services for us, you know. So let's give them a round of appreciation. At this time, I'd like to announce that we have 352 members present, member owners present, and that is a quorum. So we have a quorum, and we can proceed. The next item of business is read the notice of the meeting and the proof of mailing. If there are no objections, the reading of the notice will be omitted. Okay, I don't hear an objection. Next, we have the approval of unapproved minutes for last year's annual meeting. A copy of these minutes were made available to you as you registered for the meeting this morning. If there are no objections, the minutes will be approved as written. Is there any objections? None. Being none, they are approved. And the next item of business is acting upon the reports that were presented to you during the morning session by Mr. McDaniel as well as the general manager. Do I have a motion that these reports be approved? I have a motion. Is there a second? I've got a second, sir. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. All opposed indicate by saying no. Being no no's, it's approved. At this time, I'd like to ask Roger Keith Rose to give the nominating committee report.
Okay, we, the undersigned members of the nominating committee, met at Powell Valley Electric Corporation, office in New Tazewell, Tennessee on June the 4th, 2019 at 6 p.m. Present at the meeting were Gatlin Brandon, Tommy Belcher, Eddie Jones, Keith Roach, George Bowen, Eugene Ely, and Ricky West. Ricky West was unanimously elected as chairman of the committee. After due discussion on motion by Gatlin Brandon, seconded by Eddie Jones, and unanimously passed, be it resolved that the following members of the cooperative be nominated to be voted upon as directors of the annual meeting of members of the cooperative to be held at the Thomas Walker High School, Ewing, Virginia at 10 a.m. on September 21st, 2019. For District 4 was Alan Parkey, District 5, Dr. John Short, and District 9, Gary Russell. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there were no nominations made by petition. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion that the slate of nominees listed in the nominating committee report be elected by acclamation. I've got a motion. A second? Got a second. Okay. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Okay, motion is approved. Is there any unfinished business to be brought before the membership? Okay, then we'll move on. Okay, we have a proposed change in the Powell Valley Electric Cooperative's bylaws on a motion made at the 2018 Powell Valley Electric Cooperative Annual Meeting by cooperative member owner Patrick Hurley and seconded by member owner James Gerald Anderson. This proposed change will add section 6, open meetings to Article 5 of the bylaws if approved. You've been given, it was in the magazine, and you have been given copies of it with your packet this morning. Does anyone in favor of this proposal desire to speak in favor of it at this time?
I do.
I hear. Okay. Okay.
Hi, my name is Pat Hurley. I made the motion last year. I live in Sharps Chapel, been a member for 15 years. I'd like to spend just a couple of minutes, if I could, just to explain why I made the motion and why I recommend that it be approved. I've been involved with electric power literally my entire life. My dad worked for an electric utility in Missouri. I followed in his footsteps. And then I also went into consulting and worked for electric utilities and other electric industry types of organizations throughout the country, and in fact in a lot of different places in the world. One of the things that I saw from time to time are utilities that have kind of gotten off the path from where they wanted to be. And there are a number of cooperatives who have done this. There are examples in Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, and other places where they've just, it seems like the directors and the management have sometimes veered away from the best interests of the members. And the one common thing that is observed from all of this is that the membership generally isn't paying enough attention to what the issues are affecting your cooperative and how your elected directors are dealing with these things. And usually, that also means that their access to the board meetings are restricted in some way so that they can make decisions that are kind of out of sight. Now, I'd like to say that, but let me first just summarize a few of the high points. I'm not going to read this thing because everybody's read it. But let me just talk about a few of the things that I intended to accomplish with this particular thing. One of them, of course, is that board members, that board meetings be open to members to attend. We're the owners, after all, we should be able to attend board meetings. That there's also some time for people to make statements. That there's notice of when and where these board meetings are. And that the minutes would be posted within a few days after they're approved, so that everybody can see them or get a physical copy on the web or by asking them for a copy. And that it would allow audio and video recording and stuff. For example, I know I live in Union County, so I frequently watch the Union County Commission meetings on the website. And sort of a convenient way to see this. And so it makes the whole board operations a little more accessible to everybody, in my mind. Now, some might say that, why do you need to do this? Aren't the board meetings open now? I know Roger said that last year. And I have to say that the board has changed their policy for the good over the last year or so in a number of these things, not all of them. For example, the minutes aren't available right now. But they've changed them for the good. But to say that you don't need this right now is like saying you don't need insurance until you might need it. My intention is not to protect us from something that's going on right now, but to protect us from what might happen in the future, given the fact that this has happened in several other places, and there would be a simple way for us to avoid these issues by having this kind of an amendment. So when we go down through these things, I know there was a yellow sheet. One of them said that well, the board meetings are open, so it's unnecessary. In fact, I look at this and saying, well, since the board's policy currently is to allow members to come and observe the meetings, this is actually a very good time to do this, because the changes that might be required for implementing this amendment are very, very minor. It just amounts to posting some minutes once they're approved, and would not cause any disruption or extra cost, in my mind, of any materiality. So there are a couple of other points on that yellow tag that was passed out, which says something was unworkable and unreasonable. I don't understand how that could be. I have been on many boards myself. I understand how these things work. And when I wrote this, I can absolutely assure you there was no intention of putting anything in that's unworkable or unreasonable. That doesn't benefit anybody. So I'm a little confused by those statements. Let me just kind of close by offering some words from the book of Powell Valley. What the board giveth, the board can taketh away. But what's written in the bylaws are ours for all time. This is insurance for the future, people. I hope that you will vote in favor of this and support this. I think it's good down the road to make sure that we maintain this access. Thank you.
Is there anybody that wants to speak that's opposed to this proposal? Okay, come forward.
Thank you, Roger. My only concern, just briefly reviewing it and rolling through it, I've residential and commercial account with Powell Valley Electric, superior service across the board. I've always understood the meetings to be open, but from a neutral position, I would just like to know, based on a little bit of common sense, that there would be an extension of great overhead with all of that. And right now, and in years past, when my switch is flipped, the lights come on. And anytime I've had an issue, they are there within minutes at our commercial post as well as residential issues. So I just, at the end of the day, I don't want my power bill going up for any type of extension of overhead to be put forth. And I understand that the meetings are open as it is, and it's great to have great people that you can call on with any type of concern. That would be my only gesture, and I don't know who would have to answer that. But my concern would be of the overhead.
What do you ask? I didn't hear the question.
My question is the concern of the extension of overhead that's being voted on today.
David Stanford, General Counsel for the Cooperative. Yes, it will cost you more money if you vote for this. Let me tell you why. No, Pat says I don't understand the problem. There's already open meetings now. Has anybody ever been to a meeting, wasn't let in, come to Powell Valley Electric? It's open now. Anybody want to speak to Powell Valley Electric to the board that couldn't speak? It's open now. You put in for it. What they don't tell you here, and why I'm personally as a member against it, is that today, what this, Pat, and your second, if you vote this in, within 5 days of every meeting, the board has to be called together to adopt and approve the minutes. That's what you're voting for. It's going to cost you more money. There is no sense And nobody operates this. I don't know how many got church meetings, you vote every 30 days, county commissions, city councils, but somehow for PVEC Electric, they want, if you vote yes, for this board to have to meet within 5 days to approve these minutes today. It's not necessary. They can call a special call meeting anytime they want to. But from a cost standpoint, it will cost you because every time they meet, and I want you to notice this, these are made up, this is not full-time position. This may be full-time for you guys. This is not a full-time position. These guys work, they farm, they do other things. They meet once a month or whenever they need to. But I submit to answer Mr. Ingram's question, yes, it's going to cost the cooperative if you pass this vote, period. And I want to make one point. In reading the advertisement in the Claiborne Progress, the Sneeville Shopper, everywhere you read, it talks about, you want your meetings open. We all do. It's all done there, but you look at the advertisement, they never mention this 5 days, not in one single advertisement. The motion made by Pat, I don't blame you for not reading it here today. If you read it, that's what you're voting on.
How much would it cost? Membership. I never asked you how much it would cost.
I don't know what the cost would be, but it's going to cost to call a meeting. Now, then you get into a legal issue. What if you meet next Wednesday, you discuss business? Do you have to meet another 5 days later? Another 5 days later?
Okay. Call for the question here. Yes. We've had a call for the question. You know.
Oh, I see how.
Well, that you wanted Robert's Rules of Order. When a question is called for, you must vote. Well,
This information is untrue.
huh?
What Mr. Stanford just said is
Well,
untrue.
I'm gonna vote.
He just said what my intention
Well-
is. I know what my intention is, and I told everybody what my intention is. It doesn't read that way. It's not true. It takes about an extra minute to post it.
Well, okay, all in favor of this motion, signify by holding up your fans. The motion is to approve the one that was made last year, has been put in the magazine, to have open meetings, streaming of the meetings, and 5-day board meeting approval, and
No, it's not a motion.
well, we've had a call for the question. Huh?
Point of inquiry.
Okay.
So, exactly.
Huh? There's no discussion after a call for the question.
I asked the point of inquiry, which is.
Okay.
My inquiry is, assuming that the motion is defeated, will the chair allow additional motions on the floor for closing?
We will.
But your addition, so the congregation understands, any motion made will be for next year's annual meeting under the bylaws that currently exist. That's what you want to put everything in the bylaws. You put it in the bylaws to check. You know, if you don't have a quorum to amend from the floor today on this vote would require 2/3 of the membership, which is 22,000 people have to be here to amend this. But
That is not.
you guys made the motion, you got a second, that's all we're voting on, is what y'all made a year ago. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing.
Okay, we're gonna have the vote. All in favor, hold your fans up for aye, and they'll count to. Okay, you're counting. Hold them up. Have y'all got the count? Okay. All those opposed, hold your hands up. Okay, obviously the motion failed. Or the change to the bylaws. Okay, the floor is now open for any further business. Okay, Bill, you have the floor.
Because I can't talk about the previous motion, I won't. But I would like to submit the motion at this meeting, which will be considered at the 2020 annual meeting. I have some copies of it here. So my motion proposes adding a new section in Article 5 of the bylaws that will be included with the notice of the next annual meeting of the members so that the amendment may be voted on in accordance with Article 14 of the bylaws at the 2020 annual meeting. The proposed new section is as follows. All meetings of the Board of Directors, including committee meetings, shall be open to attendance by any members, except for executive sessions as allowed by law or written policy. Attendance shall not require request or notice. Meetings shall include a period for statements by members. Any final action, decision, or vote on a matter shall be made in an open meeting. Notwithstanding other provisions for notice in this Article 5, members shall be provided written notice of the date, hour, and place of all board meetings. The notice of a board meeting shall be posted in places readily accessible to members for at least 72 hours before the scheduled time of the meeting. Such notice shall be posted in a place convenient to the members at each of Powell Valley's principal offices and shall be posted prominently on Powell Valley's website. Powell Valley shall provide a copy of a meeting notice at no cost to a member upon request. Approved minutes of board meetings, except for executive sessions as allowed by law or written policy, shall be available to members promptly following meetings, but not later than 5 business days following meeting at which minutes are approved. Powell Valley shall post minutes on its website and maintain such postings for a period of at least 2 years. Powell Valley shall provide a copy of minutes of any meeting at no cost to a member upon request. Powell Valley shall allow audio and video recording and live streaming of board meetings, except for executive sessions as allowed by law or written policy. That's my motion.
Okay. Do I have a second to this?
I'll second it.
She seconds the motion here. Okay. Discussion. Okay, I don't hear any discussion. All in favor of this proposed change to the bylaws, please raise your hands. What's your question? Yeah, we're ready to. Huh? We're going to vote whether we're going to, or whether this is brought up for a vote next year or not.
Oh, that's bull.
Huh?
There's no precedent. According to the bylaws, that's perfectly what you're supposed to do. We're following the rules.
No, that's not the way they are.
Yes, sir, it is. Absolutely, it's the rules. That's exactly what it is. And that's what you told us. You can't change the rules without changing the rules.
Okay, we're gonna take a vote on this proposed amendment to the bylaws to be brought up next year. If you happen to be right, then we will abide by that, but I think you're wrong, so we're gonna vote on it right now.
This is going legal. That's arbitrary.
We're not. The membership's gonna decide. Yeah, that's what we're all in favor, hold your fans up.
I did. Yeah, discussion?
Huh?
Discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is wrong. Yeah, shame on you.
Well, okay, if you got the count, okay. All those opposed, hold up your fans.
I'm fucking real.
The motion obviously fails. Okay, any other business? Any other business? What? Well, you read it off.
Yeah.
Well, but, huh? It's been voted on. But he read it off. Bill,
No, that's not what was voted on.
yes. You're out of order now. You've had your say. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Yeah, okay. A second. Okay. The meeting's adjourned. Now we'll have the drawing for the prizes.